Okay, so how do you design in Tinkercad? Well, once you're logged in, or the student's logged in, they're going to go pick out their class, and then once they get their class, they're going to click on Create New Design. And there's their work plane for designing. So the first thing you're going to do is change this title over here. So you go to Design, and then click on Properties, and then allow you to change that design. So just change it to Joe, my first name, and you can put the name of your project. And notice, you want to tell the students to notice that it sets up the visibility as private and that their license is attribution share alike. So this creates automatically a Creative Commons license, which means whatever they create, other people can use it as long as they say where they got it. So that means if your students grab someone else's design, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment, then they have to say where they got that design from. So just like copyright law, you got to say where you get things from. In other words, you got to give attribution if you use other people's designs or objects. All right, very good teachable moment there. So we're going to save changes. And let's change the title. So the first thing is to get your objects. You can go over here and just scroll down, and you can see the different types of objects that you have here. We can grab a cube and just drag it over. Okay, there's also letters and numbers below here if you want to get an object. So the first thing you know is wherever you move this object, it stays on this work plane, on this z-axis. It doesn't go up or down. Okay, very good. To make something go up or down off the plane, you got to grab this black cone right here. So if I grab that black cone, you'll see the shadow underneath. You'll see that it's 27 millimeters off. Now it's 13 millimeters off the plane, and I can bring it back down to 0, or I can bring it below, -13, and then back to 0, and it's back on the plane. So that's how we raise and lower things. All right. So if you want to resize something, you can grab one of these white squares, and you can resize it, and it will resize depending on what square you grab. But if you hold down the Shift key while you grab a corner, this will keep the ratio or symmetry for you. So very nice. So we keep those dimensions or that ratio by holding down the Shift. All right, so you want to maybe change the position. These arrows right here will allow you to turn it. Turn your object, and you'll see other arrows here. You can flip your object, and there's a third dimension, and if you can't get it, you could always click on, raise your object a little bit, and it should give you the third arrow. If you don't see it, you can do a right click on the base here, anywhere on the base, and you can turn your platform. And now if I do a left click on the object, I turn my platform, there it is, there's that third arrow. So you can move your object in different dimensions. You could also turn the work plane to get a different angle up here on these arrows right here. So that could also give you different views of what's going on. Okay, very good. All right. Say I want to put an object on top of that object. I'll go over here and grab a sphere, and it's going to be on this work plane until I raise it. Okay, I'll raise it up. Now putting it on there, it's not exactly easy. So you can see if I turn the work plane, it looked like it was near, but it's actually not. The best place or way to line things up is with work planes. So if I go over here, I could click on the work plane, the helpers, and I'm going to do a left click and bring this over. A left click. It's not going to help me right there. I'm going to see if I can get it directly on top. If it will go. let's see. Might be a bad angle to get it right on that corner. So say, we'll just go for the side. Say, well, I want to put it here. Now that's got me a work plane. And now I could see, I'll go over here and turn it. And that work plane will help me see that I need to raise it. And then bring it over. Accidentally grab one of the white ones by mistake. Be careful when you're moving it, don't grab a white corner. There you go. So that is on there. Now, to make sure things are connected or touching, even if they look like they're touching or they are touching, they might not print. So let me get rid of that work plane. So to get rid of it, I'm going to come over here and click on, a left click on the work plane up here, and then a left click on the base, and that'll take it away. Now if we get in closer, you could see over here, I'm going to zoom in, you can see it's not touching. So to make sure things come out touching when you're designing, you want to sync them into each other. Okay, now that it's sunk into it, as you can see, now we'll know that it's definitely going to print together. So you want to sync objects into each other a little bit to make sure that they are touching each other. Okay, now say I want to move this object. Well, if I just try to move one of them, it's just going to move that. But if I want to move the whole thing together, then I just do a left click, surround. I do a left click, surround both objects, and then that will allow me to move both objects. Okay, very good. So say I want to put a hole in my object here. All I have to do is bring this object out here, and then I can move it sideways again. Grab it. Well, I don't like the shape, so I want to do the undo at the top. The undo will bring me back to my original. Let me try that again. So there's always the undo at the top if you mess up, which is very nice to know. And there is no messing up in Tinkercad because you're tinkering and you're learning. So I'm going to hold down the shift and make this smaller. And then I'm going to elongate it. And that's going to be my hole. Okay, then I'm going to put through this box. Raise it up. Get my work plane. Put it right here so I know exactly how to line it up. Look at it from the side. See that it needs to come over here. You can tell by the shadow where it's going to end up. There we go. So that's going to move it right through there. Left click here, left click the base, get rid of my thing, and now we'll put a hole through. So now that we have that through, that's going to be my hole. So if I click on that, it's highlighted in blue, what I want to be the hole. I'll just come up here and click hole. And there's my hole. And now if I group this, do a left click, surround it with the box, and then go up here to group, there's the hole and the object. Alright, very good. And say I want to move something, I just need to ungroup it, and I can move this or that around. Alright, very good. And the last thing is for importing other objects into your object. Say I want to go get an object to import. I'm going to go over here to Tinkercad to the upper left. And then I'm going to go over here to the search. I'm going to search for a leaf. Bring in. And scroll down. and look at the leaves, see what options they have. Sorry about that. There's a leaf right here. If I like that, I click it on, and then copy and tinker. Copy to clipboard. Right here again, that little arrow down. Copy to clipboard. Exit out. Then come over here to Tinkercad again, upper left, find my design I was working on. And instead of clicking on it, you want to click on Tinker This. So if you hover over what you're working on, you can click on Tinker This. And there's your design. And to import what you just copied on your clipboard, I'm going to go up here to Edit and click Paste. And there's my leaf. Now I want it a little smaller again. Hold down the Shift and then grab a corner, and I can make it smaller. There you go. And we can make it part of this somehow. Alright, so say if I want to print that, then I would make sure it's all grouped together. So I do a left click and then go up here to group, and that's grouped everything. So I know it's grouped together and I know it's touching, everything's sunk into each other. So I'm just going to go over here to design and download for 3D printing. So that's it. There are some other things over here that you can do. You can import 2D or 3D images into your design over here on the right. There's also shape generators that you could look at from the community. There's hundreds of shapes already made, like text, that you could drag in, and you could make it your own. Make it your name, hit enter, and this could be part of your design. So all kinds of things you can do. All right, have fun and keep tinkering.